Senator, to you, you're on this committee. How would you vote?
Well, I'll make a final decision in the morning. I'm going through this. I think the real question is how big is the problem? And is the problem so big that I have to move from my positions of very limited government, no tax increases anywhere, anytime, to a position that says, can we solve the problem with the Congress that we have? And the danger, Neil, is if we do nothing, it's a disaster. And it may be a disaster if we do something. Remember, whatever this commission has proposed is the bottom. We're going to have to do a whole lot more than what this commission has proposed to get out of the mess we're in. And so I'll make a final determination in the morning. But my insight is that our problems are so big, so real, that a time to stand for what you think is best versus what will get us on the way probably needs to be weighed in consideration of the depth of the problem that we have.
Now, obviously, you hear a lot, Senator, about the 14 votes necessary on the commission to get that supermajority of the 18 members to get this approved. You're going to need that, not you specifically, sir, but the commission itself in order to move this ball forward and, I guess, hand it over to Congress and see what they do. Is it your sense, though, that if you don't have the 14 votes, whether you vote for or against, that they can move forward?
Well, if the Congress doesn't move forward, our grandchildren are sunk.
I know, but if the commission doesn't, if the members don't, 14 of you guys don't vote for this, isn't it sunk pre-Congress?
No, I don't think so. There's been so much work and so much that's put forward that I think you'll see a lot of the recommendations of this commission come out of Paul Ryan's budget next year. I think, my hope is that if in fact we can come together with 14, that we will, for the first time in a long time, under both Republican and Democratic control, put partisan issues aside and start doing what is in the best long-term interest of the country. And having said that, everybody in this country is going to have to give up something. You are, I am, those that are dependent on us to a degree, but to a much less degree than anybody else. We are in an unsolvable situation unless we move from our particular philosophical bents and send a signal to the world that we understand the problem that we have, but and that we're about fixing it.
I understand, sir, but doesn't this commission offer a little bit of wiggle room to both sides? And by that I mean, without being so crass, let's say to Republicans who are leery against these so-called revenue enhancements, tax increases, that they're offset by drastically lowering all the key tax rates. 3 tax rates where the top one would be reduced to 28% and conceivably lower than that. That is a compelling argument for those who say this is on the back of tax increases, when in fact you could argue to maybe the more conservative members of the party, well, no, it's not quite that. What do you think of that?
Well, actually, Neil, if you took a dynamic scoring of what has been proposed and the prohibition in this recommendation that any increase in revenues above what we have estimated will go for either lowering the rates further or deficit reduction, not for increased spending. What it does is it sets up that right now we're at about 90% offset to any tax increases in terms of rate reductions, and moves that to a plus figure so that in fact the net tax effect of it would be negative. In other words, it would be a tax decrease if you look at a dynamic scoring on it. If you go back to 1986 when the Reagan tax changes, which eliminated a lot of these tax expenditures and flattened the rates and changed things, what did we see economically after that? We saw, a large time. We had one recession in that period, but we saw a large advancement in the economy of this country. And I think the potential for that, what I wanted to eliminate the income tax altogether and have a national sales tax, which would in fact markedly enhance our competitive status worldwide.
Gotcha. Senator, very good having you. I know you'll have your work cut out for good seeing you again, and congratulations on your re-election. Senator Tom Coburn will play a very important role in all of this. We are getting indications that a tax cut deal, or what to do about the Bush tax cuts, could be very, very close. Nikki Haley, the incoming governor of South Carolina, is with me. Next.